Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video tutorial. This will be the third bot number 102 from chapter 4 on the central cannon versus sandwich house defense. We will be continuing our discussion of red playing the 7th pawn variation. So without further ado, let us begin. Central cannon, pale corner cannon, sandwich house defense, and as mentioned earlier, red will play the 7th pawn advancement variation. p7 plus 1 is another counter by black. Now in the previous board, other variations were discussed. In today's board, we will be discussing c8 plus 2. Now this will be the position of discussion for this board, and it will be a subtler approach to the earlier boards, to the previous two boards, whereby red played r2 to 6. With c8 plus 2, red would try to command the riverbank as early as possible, and he would not deploy his chariot so early to attack. Now with c8 plus 2, one main idea is to play p3 plus 1 to trade pawns and maneuver the cannon over here to attack this flank. It would also, after trading pawns, it will also allow for development of this right horse. Now, but the pace of red's attack would slow down considerably, and this would be more of a positional approach. So faced with this situation, there are two main counters. The first would be c2 equals to 1, the second would be e7 plus 5. But before we continue, there was mention of h7 plus 6 as by black. Now this would not be a good idea because red will play h8 plus 7. With this move, the horse can only be forced to move over here, and black will usually play e7 plus 5, and this will transposition back to the main line. So let us go to variation A. Variation A, black would respond with c2 equals to 1 to prepare to develop his right flank. Now this is a good move because seeing that black had played c8 plus 2, his left flank was undeveloped. The development of this chariot will be an issue. So with c2 equals to 1, black will be faster in developing the chariot and thus lend some potential for counter to his position. h8 plus 7, r1 equals to 2, and black would usually, red would usually play r9 equals to 8. Now, again, this is a very patient play from red, as he will slowly wait for the opportunity to maneuver his material. Now, it would not be a good idea at this point in time to trade pawns as originally planned, because black would first take the initiative to attack the horse with this move, and if the horse moved to the riverbank, black would get across riverbank pawn and threaten the horse over here. So usually red would play c5 minus 1, and black would now play r2 plus 4 to command the riverbank. Again, black would not want to capture the pawn, otherwise red would get a opportunity to maneuver the cannon over here. Now with this move, if let's say red pushed if let's say red pushed the red captured, the black chariot would have gained some more initiative in terms of maneuvering of the pieces. Red will still have to find ways to deal with the issue of this cannon, and red cannot profit from this position. So that is why p3 plus 1 is not a good idea. So r9 equals to 8 is usually played. Black would defend with e7 plus 5. Now e7 plus 5 is the better elephant to play instead of e3 plus 5. Now first of all, making this move will be favorable for defense. It will give black the additional option of playing r9 equals to 7 to develop the chariot from this file. And e3 plus 5 would not be as efficient because now the chariot had already moved, so there was no need to develop it as a kingside chariot with e3 plus 5, a4 plus 5. But at this point in time, it would be better or advisable for black to for black to defend. If he played r2 plus 4, red will start his counter. p7 plus 1, sacrificing the pawn, making way to free the cannon. The pawn cannot capture, otherwise black would lose the chariot. So only the chariot can move. Red will now attack the central file, delivering a check, and within a span of few moves, red will now have the heaven and earth cannons in place. He will be attacking, and the chariot, there are many things that red can do. For example, advancing the chariot over here to target the central, to target the advisor. So red will be attacking and have the advantage. And as mentioned in the earlier videos on basic kills, the heaven and earth cannons is a very fearsome entity. So that is why r2 plus 4 is not a good idea. So instead, it would be better for black to play e7 plus 5. He would not have to fear red playing r8 plus c8 plus 2 because red would have wasted a move in the process. So red will usually play r2 plus 6 to attack this horse, since the elephant had moved. So black cannot play h7 plus 6, otherwise this would be a fork. So black will usually up his defenses and protect the cannon, and also solidify his central file with a6 plus 5. Unfortunately, this move is considered to be too slow. Instead, r2 plus 4 is usually recommended nowadays. But let us see what the book gave us. r2 plus 3, 9 equals to 7, c8 plus 4. And red will now command the spatial advantage in this situation. The horse will be ready to go and attack the horse over here, and that is why a6 plus 5 has been criticized to be problematic, and instead r2 plus 4 should have been played to limit the threat of this cannon. So let us go to variation B. In variation B, e7 plus 5 was played. Now red will play a8 plus 7 to develop his left horse for balanced development of his pieces. Now, this is also usually done in conjunction with the Riverbank cannon. Now, if red wanted to control and prevent black from advancing the horse and play r2 plus 6, black could always counter with c2 plus 1. Thereby, this chariot would not actually be a target of attack. Black could wrestle away the initiative from red. And with p3 plus 1 on the next move, once the pawn crossed the river, this cannon will also be in trouble. Say h7 plus 6, and black would play the horse to the riverbank. Now red would attack with r2 plus 6 for a proactive approach. If he tried to trade horses, red would gladly accept, and after trading horses, the position of this cannon is not so desirable. Usually red would have to use up one more move to position it better. So r9 equals to 7. Chariot is now poised to attack the horse, and at this point in time, black would be prepared to play p7 plus 1. He could also consider c2 plus 4. Either way, black would have many tactical options available, and red will lose his first move initiative, and black will start countering. So that is why h7 plus 6 is not a good idea by red, because black would be more than happy to trade material. r2 plus 6, a proactive approach, a6 plus 5. He's attacking, and red will dislodge the cannon, up his defenses. Black tries to develop Black advances the pawn to try to protect the pawn rank, etc. 7 plus 6. It will be a standoff, but red would have a slight initiative. Well, black can be very happy with this position. Now in this board, we can see that red would attack with c8 plus 2 for a slow and steady approach. Now let us view this board from the eyes of black. Cannon. Lapel corner cannon, sandwich Charles, p7+1 variation, p7+1. And today, the position of discussion, c8+2, whereby red will try to protect the riverbank and offer trade on pawns. Variation A, c2+1, variation B, e7+5. Now, h7+6 is not recommended because black's central file is still relatively empty. Red will play h8+7, thus denying the horse a potential intersection to move. But black would defend, and this position would transposition back to the main line in variation A. So variation A, h8+7, r1 equals to 2, r9 equals to 8 for a very careful play. p3+1 is not good, as black will counter with c6+5. If the horse advanced, let's say if the horse advanced, black will gain a cross river pawn, and red will make all sorts of trouble. It's r2+4, and red cannot profit from the situation. Black would play e7+5 to defend his central file, solidify it. If he was to with r2+4, after a few rounds, red will sacrifice the pawn to obtain the heaven and earth cannons for attack, and red will have the advantage. r2+6, consolidate the defense, and red will command a spatial advantage at this point in time, and that is why black would have trouble trying to maneuver. Variation B, e7+5 would be more favorable instead of c2 equals to 1. With e7+5, again red will play h8+7. Black will try to move his horse to the riverbank. r2+6 for proactive approach. Now if p7+1, sorry, I forgot to mention earlier. If p7+1, this will be trade of material, but black would lose tempo because the red chariot will command an important line and be threatening both pieces. a6+5, preparing for p7+1. r2 equals to 4, h6+7. Red dislodges the cannon, develops the left chariot. e7+5, r1 plus p1+1. And it would be a standoff, but red would have the slight advantage at this point in time. So in this spot, red advanced the cannon to the riverbank, and it allowed for this horse to be developed as a proper horse. So this would be a slow but steady variation. This is not so commonly seen in from the games I've seen, but nevertheless, it might be a good option for players who prefer a more deliberate method of attack. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video. If you like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.